A warm welcome to Disky Talk with Luyolo. If you're tuning in for the very first time, I do ask that you please subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you've been a part of this journey, I hope you thoroughly enjoy this episode. So, on today's episode, I discuss all things Orlando Pirates as I have a special feature-focused episode where I focus on Gabadinho Mhango and Vincent Pule. So, when we have a look at it then, we will then start with Vincent Pule. So, this was a player then in the beginning of the season who was on form, was doing very well and had bagged 4 assists, and he was very, very influential for Orlando Pirates. However, he then picked up a long-term injury. He is then working his way back to full fitness then. So, with Vincent Pule then, he is a winger by trade. Left-footed winger. He's a player then who is very skillful and very quick as well. This is a player then who is well adept then in 1v1 situations, and at times he does tend to drift into that half space. He does tend to drift within tight pockets of space and can sometimes then occupy the space in between the lines. And this is a player then who can be so very, very influential for this Orlando Pirates side. However, he mostly then plays as a winger, so he can come off the right and he can come off the left. However, when we have a look at Orlando Pirates then, they do line up then in a hybrid system, which in possession is a 3-4-2-1. And when you have a look at it then, you'd have your back 3 there. You'd have the right wing back, you have the left wing back, you have 2 centre mids in there, and then you'd have your striker, and then you'd have your 2 number 10s. So this is more or less then how Orlando Pirates have been shaping up whenever they do have the ball, and then out of possession they go to a 4-4-2/4-5-1. So they are the team then that is quite dynamic when it comes then to transitioning from one shape into another shape. So when you have a look at it then, before Vincent Pule got injured in the beginning of the season, he was mostly operating then as the left wing back, and then whenever they would transition and Shandu would tuck in, it would then go to a back 4. But with him then returning and with Hoto, who has been doing well for Orlando Pirates and in the past couple of months, it then makes a very interesting case with regards to where does Vincent Pule fit in, One then asks themselves, will there be a formational change? Or will we then see Pule then playing as one of the number 10s? In this case then, I think that I would use him as one of the number 10s. And what I think then that this would do for Orlando Pirates is that it would give them a lot more creativity, because we do know that Thembinkosi Lodge is back, and when you have a look at the other options as one of the number 10s, you've got Makubela, you've got Tsukamanja, and then you've got Kabelo Dlamini as well. But I just think that Pule would be a lot better suited. So I would keep Hoto as the left wing back, and then I'd look to have Pule, look to have Lodge, and then there's Pepra as well. But then we do know that Mhango has been in fine form. We do know that he's working his way then back to his full fitness and back then to the great confidence that Mhango once had. As we do know that he recently had a great showing at the AFCON. And the next player then in discussion when it comes to this episode is then Gabadinho Mhango, and how then Orlando Pirates could look to utilize him. So when you have a look at the return then of Gabadinho Mhango and why I think he can be so influential for Orlando Pirates, especially in the second round. Well, when you have a look at it then, Orlando Pirates then are competing then within the CAF and within the DStv Premiership as well. So they are then looking then to finish off the season off strongly and then try to as best as they can within the CAF. So when you have a look at it then, Gabadinho Mhango then can play as within a front 3 of either side, but is mainly then the striker. He is then the number 9 up front, but with that, he is quite a mobile striker, so he can drift at times and he can drop short. But what I then like about him then playing as the main striker, is that he's a player then that can often give you those runs in behind. He is a player that is very strong, he's very dynamic, and a player then who can shoot with both feet as well. So he does then give Orlando Pirates that quality. So it would be then interesting seeing then how then would they then be looking then to use Pule and Mhango as well, especially considering the fact that you've got Pepra, who's been doing very, very well, and in this case then, I think that Orlando Pirates are better suited then at playing with a 2 and then 1. And the 2 then being Mhango and Pepra, and then having Lodge there as well. And then I just think that Pule at times then, they could look then to either use Mhango as the main striker and then bring Pule in, so you could have Pule and Lodge, or you can have Pepra there and then you can have Pule and Lodge as well. So with the return of certain players, Orlando Pirates then have so many options up front, so it's very interesting then to see how then Coach Mandla Ncigazi and Coach Fadlu Davids go about things, especially then when they're trying to compete on all fronts with regards then to finishing off the season. With regards to the DStv Premiership then, we do know that they will be vying for that CAF Champions League spot, and they'll try then finish as high as possible. However, at home, do let me know then, what do you make then of Gabadinho Mhango and Vincent Pule as well? Do you guys think that Gabadinho Mhango deserves then to be a starter, or do you feel like Pepra's in fine form, let Pepra keep playing there, or do you feel like there's a place for both of them? And then, when Vincent Pule does eventually work his way back to full fitness, where would you play him? Would you play him as the left wing back, or would you be looking to play him as one of the number 10s who would then occupy the left side of half space, and at times, of course, drift and institute that rotational play with Thembinkosi Lodge? Or do you feel like then there is no spot for Vincent Pule as he tries to work his way back because of the personnel that Orlando Pirates currently have? So thank you very much for tuning in to yet another special episode of Diski Talk with Liolo. Signing out.